want to talk about the 7 masks. These are the masks that every single man wears when they are dating. And they use these masks to cover up the true swamp creature nature of who they really are underneath. And the longer that you date these people, the longer you date these men, the more masks you see fall. And if you don't pay attention to the first mask or the second mask or even the third mask, if you don't pay attention and act accordingly, when you see those masks fall, you're going to see the rest of the masks fall. And every single time one of those masks fall, you get to see more and more of that male's ugly swamp creature, sometimes abusive personality. And women especially, but this isn't just to women, because I talked about this on my podcast. I talked about this on my TikTok, and I had queer men in my comments talking about how they as gay men have to deal with this. They have to deal with the 7 masks as well. Okay? So if you are dating cisgender men, it is important for you to be aware of these masks so that you can identify these masks, and most importantly, you can act accordingly. So let's go through these masks. First and foremost, we have the 3-month mask. The 3-month mask, y'all. Okay? Have you ever noticed that you'll meet a guy, y'all be dating, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so good. Like, he's so nice. And he is, just like, you guys are texting all the time. You guys are, you're on the phone, late night chats, talking to falling asleep on the phone together, going out on dates, having these wonderful, amazing, like rom-com moments. And then suddenly, right around the 3-month mark, this motherfucker starts acting weird. Suddenly, this fool starts going hot and cold. He's not responding to your text messages anymore. He's taking 3-4 days to text you back. He's not picking up the phone anymore. He's taking days and days to call you back. And when he does call you back, when he does text you back, he's acting like everything is totally normal. Like he didn't just disappear off the face of the earth for like 3 days, a week sometimes. And did you ever notice that this always seems to happen right around the 3-month mark? That's because at 3 months is when they take their first mask off. Ladies and anybody who dates cisgendered men. At 3 months is when they first take their first mask off. Because 3 months is the longest amount of time that a cisgendered male can be his quote unquote best self. But the truth is, it's not his best self. It's a fake version of him, because he can't even keep that shit up for 3 months. He can't even keep it up for more than 3 months. When I talked about this on my TikTok, someone in the comments came in and said they call that person the quote representative. It's the person that cisgender men send. It's the fake person that they pretend to be, that they send to date you in the first 3 months, who is this incredible version of a human being. You guys are just vibing. But the truth of the matter is that's a fake person that they've sent. The quote representative. It's important that we have words to describe these phenomena. Right? Because when you don't have a word to describe it, it's hard to call that shit out. So I've been using that word representative because I think it's just such a great way to explain this concept. They're giving you their representative for the first 3 months, but they can only keep that charade up for 3 months. And that's when the first mask drops, the 3-month mask. The 3-month mask And for those people out there who tend to be perpetually single or they're usually single, one thing you'll notice about them is they usually always end things at that 3-month mark. And those people will think, maybe there's something wrong with me. Like, what's going on? Why is it that, I can't seem to make it past 3 months with any of these guys that I'm dating? What's going on? And you start to think, maybe there's something wrong with me. It's not you, Bookie. It's not you. It's that you don't put up with bullshit. That's really what it is. And once you see that 3-month mask come off, you're like, I don't like this. And so I'm going to go. And because that person can't keep up, they end up fading away. And that's the end of the relationship. But it wasn't because something was wrong with you. It's because you peeped game. You peeped game and you acted accordingly. So to all of my perpetually single people out there, all of my people who have never had any long-term relationships, or who have only had, 1 or 2 long-term relationships and mostly only dated people for a few months and can never get past that 3-month mark with people, and you started thinking maybe there's something wrong with me, I'm here to tell you there's nothing wrong with you. You just saw through the bullshit and acted accordingly. All the people who are in long-term relationships who stuck it out, all of the people dating men in long-term relationships who stuck it out, they're there because they put up with the bullshit and you didn't. So reframe your perspective. For those of you who have struggles with dating and you're dating men, I'm not talking about men dating, I'm talking about people who date men. Those of us who are out here dating men and have struggles with that, it's more than likely because you don't put up with bullshit. It has nothing to do with who you are as a person. The 3-month mask. So after they take that 3-month mask off and now they're not responding to your texts like they were before, they're kind of acting cold and distant when you're hanging out with them. Things are just not the same anymore. If you continue to pursue the relationship after that, if you don't get up on your horse and giddy up on out of there, then you get to see the second mask, which is the 6-month mask, y'all. The 6-month mask. Okay? You done did 3 months with this motherfucker. You saw the switch up and you still stuck beside him. And so now the message that you've given to him, he's like, okay, I took off the first mask and she's still sticking around. 3 months in, that's usually when women, people in general, but especially women, that's usually when we realize okay, we like this person. We like him, And so they see that you have now started to have an emotional investment into them. Okay. You've now started to have an emotional investment into them at the 3-month mark. So now they're going to drop that 6-month mask. And again, that 6-month mask, y'all been dating for 6 months. You tolerated the change after the 3-month mask. And now he gonna show you some more of his swamp creature nature. He's gonna show you more of his true trash bucket, garbage ass nature. He's gonna let more be seen. Not too much. Because he doesn't want to scare you away. He still wants you to be invested. He still wants you to continue falling deeper and deeper for him. But he's going to show you a little bit more of who the fuck he really is. And again, if you know what to look for and you see that 6-month mask drop, you should get up on your horse and hightail it out of there. But where a lot of women especially, but anybody who dates cisgender men, but a lot of women especially, where we fail is we start to rationalize. We start to make excuses for those masks dropping. We start to justify it because we are wondering what happened to that guy that we were dating in the first 3 months who was so amazing, who was so awesome, the representative. What happened to the representative? And we're so confused. And so instead of us seeing that behavior change at the 6-month mark, With the 6-month mask removal, instead of us seeing that behavior change and being like, this isn't right, I should probably get out of here, we start to rationalize and justify and try to make sense of it because we're confused because we had this amazing guy in the beginning. And we're waiting, we're hoping and pleading for that guy to come back. But the truth is, Pookie, he never existed. He was a fake representative. He was a fake representative. And so at the 6-month mark, you have another opportunity to get out of there. But at this point, now you're 6 months into this, emotionally invested. Y'all probably done committed to each other. And so you're still confused because you're still trying to find that wonderful guy that you first started dating. So you stick it out. You ignore the 6-month mask, and then comes the third mask. The 1-year mask.